The New York Jets have made a massive change, taking away Nathaniel Hackett's play-calling duties for the offense as Jeff Ulbrich's first real move as the head coach of the team, and we're going to break it down. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Jets Digest. It's Chris and Matt here, and we're going to jump right into the video, as we always do, because the New York Jets, after firing Robert Saleh and promoting Jeff Ulbrich to the interim head coaching spot, there was a lot of noise that Nathaniel Hackett might lose his play-calling duties, whether it was with Saleh, whether it was under Ulbrich, no matter what. There was noise about this happening. And guys, real quick, make sure to subscribe to the channel. That's always important. Only 6% of viewers are subscribed. Get those numbers up. If you're liking what we're doing, just subscribe then. Now! But also, Jeff Ulbrich did say that he made his first big move, making Nathaniel Hackett no longer the offensive play caller and having Todd Downing take over. So, not too surprising, Nathaniel Hackett's offense has sucked. There's no way around it. There's no way to basically say it. His offense has just been bad. The Jets' offense has been underwhelming. Aaron Rodgers in the last 2 games has thrown 6 interceptions. I mean, frankly, I could do better, except for the fact that I couldn't whatsoever, because I can't even throw a spiral. That's a lie. Just for the camera, that's a lie. Then I'll tell Matt off air how I can't throw a spiral. But that's not the point, guys. The point is Jeff Ulbrich made a decision, and it's a big one. Matt, I really like this decision by Jeff Ulbrich, honestly.
Yeah, Chris, I have to imagine that Jets fans will universally agree with this move. Jeff Ulbrich came into the head coaching job on I think like 10-14 on Tuesday, but he's already making a huge move that everyone's going to love. The Jets need to do this because just flat out they were not good enough under Nathaniel Hackett with him calling the plays. Last season, terrible. Don't want to talk about it anymore. This season, even with an MVP, or not an MVP, or ex-MVP, a Hall of Fame quarterback, locked and loaded Hall of Fame quarterback, he still can't move the ball with Hackett's play calling. I don't know how it worked in Green Bay, but whatever he was doing back then, he's trying to do it here too, and it's not working. So what needs to happen now is our new play caller, he's got to come in, he's got to be creative and think up new ways to get guys the football. And Chris, the number one thing we got to start with, they got to start using motion more. They're one of the most stagnant offenses in the league so far. That I have to imagine is going to change. I have to imagine that's going to be a big point of importance for the new play caller. He's going to want to get that changed. Also, we use our 3rd-round pick on Malachi Corley out of Western Kentucky, a guy who he needs plays designed for him. He's a chess piece who you need to be creative with to get the ball into his hands so he can make plays. And I kind of feel bad for him because this was clearly one of the worst situations he could have fallen in. Even though the Jets wide receiver depth chart isn't that deep, he's not on the field because the offensive coordinators have no idea how to use him. But something that's confusing to me also is Nathaniel Hackett is still the offensive coordinator, but he's not calling the plays. For me, that just seems like this is the first step for fully removing and firing Nathaniel Hackett. But Aaron Rodgers called him out by name. He requested him to come to New York, and that was one of the reasons why Rodgers wanted to come to the Jets, was to be coached by Nathaniel Hackett again. So as long as Aaron Rodgers is here, there's probably a pretty good chance that Nathaniel Hackett will stay with him. But the new play caller, Todd's his first name?
Todd Downing, yeah.
Yeah, Todd Downing. He called plays for the Tennessee Titans, and that's important because over the offseason, the Jets were also looking for Arthur Smith to be the play caller for the whole year, and he was also the offensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans during the same time while Todd Downing was there. And we remember what that offense was. It was hand the ball off to Derrick Henry on 1st down, 2nd down, 3rd down, sometimes 4th down too. They set it up so Ryan Tannehill did not really have to do too much with his arm. He wasn't asked to put the entire game plan on his right arm. He wasn't asked to go win the game. It was always on Derrick Henry first and the offensive line. So the Jets' game plan now going forward is going to be run first. They're going to be running so much with Breece Hall, but we've seen the run blocking hasn't been good enough so far through 5 games. So that has to improve to make this offensive scheme work. They're going to bring in more motion. It's almost a guarantee because they almost can't use less motion than what they've used so far. But remember, running, creativity, motion, that's what Todd Downing is going to bring. And I speak for every Jets fan when I say I fully, wholeheartedly agree with Jeff Ulbrich's first move as acting head coach.
I do wonder, and not to instantly ask you a question after that, but it comes down to he's going to use motion. He's going to use a run-first offense. Breece Hall, we've seen the Jets basically say, you know what? While we have Aaron Rodgers, we're going to make the most out of him. The bell cow running back is kind of gone. It's kind of been going extinct for a bit, but Breece is going to bring that back to a degree. Also, having Braylon Allen helps because Braylon's been awesome since they picked him in the 4th round of this year's draft. But 4th round, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But also, yeah, Corley is a very, very skilled player who's there to show how fast he is. He's one of those guys who's an elite speed threat. You have to imagine with the motions, with the run-heavy offense, they're going to be using some sort of sweeps or giving Corley the ball in the backfield and trying to get something out of it. It just makes perfect sense to really get Corley into a better situation with the Jets. As you said, he got drafted to arguably what could be the worst situation for a young receiver like him. But this could really help a lot. The question that I'm going to ask you is kind of just like, I feel like Aaron Rodgers in a little lower value. I know I worded that so strangely.
No, I've been waiting for the question.
Yeah. But I kind of like that Aaron Rodgers is going to be maybe having a little less pressure to be throwing the ball constantly. Look, he's getting older. He does not look like the same Aaron Rodgers that he was in the past through these first few games. He's had great moments, but he's also had some not great moments in the last 2 games. Do you think this is going to help Rodgers now that he's going to throw the ball a little less?
So, Chris, right now, I'm looking up how many times Aaron Rodgers threw the ball on Sunday. 54 times against the Vikings.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That is way too much. So what's going to happen is when he's throwing the ball less, he's going to be able to – I mean, you have to imagine I'm actually remembering some things now. Right now, he has the 2nd lowest yards per attempt in the entire league, which shouldn't even be possible. He has the one of the lowest – the time to throw, which means when he takes a snap, he gets the ball out of his hands quickly, which makes it more difficult for him to get sacked, more difficult for the pass rush to come in, and overall helps our offensive line block for him. But by throwing the ball less, I think it's going to make him, I think he's going to look better on offense because going into every game, the Jets, they bring 4 or 5 what they call money plays, which is when it's 3rd and 1 or 4th down or at the end of the game and they really need a play, they're going to go to this money play. And it's supposed to be like a guaranteed first down. It's guaranteed to work. So when you're running the ball more, you can space out when you use these money plays. So when you really need it at the end of the game, it's still there. So Aaron Rodgers, when he's throwing the ball less, he can keep more tricks in the bag, and he doesn't have to show everything he doesn't have to show off the entire game plan right away in the first quarter. There have been so many Jets games, like against the Vikings, they got, I don't know if it was 1 first down in the first quarter or none, but they're always put themselves in these situations where they have to bring out their best plays too early, and then you get to the end of the game and they just don't have it anymore. And Aaron Rodgers, he also has to throw the ball less because he's dealing with a sprained ankle and a sore knee, and he's an old guy. It's the NFL. You're gonna get hit. He's gonna get banged up. We're not playing against like the defenses. They might not be as good as the Jets defense, but we're not playing against scrubs out here. They're gonna hit Aaron Rodgers pretty much no matter how good our offensive line is. So he's got to, when he drops back less, he's going to get hit less. So it's that simple. Throwing the ball less is going to help him a lot. But the key thing that has to happen for us to throw the ball less, got to run the ball more effectively because we haven't, the plan has always been run first. The problem is they've ran first and it didn't work. So they went into the passing game and we've been losing in games, which just leads us to pass more and more and more. And that's why Aaron Rodgers is getting all these attempts are going up, and that's why this stuff's not going well right now for the Jets offense.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. He's 50. I almost said he's 54. He threw 54 passes. He's 40 years old. It feels like he's becoming more of a guy who's not flinging the ball 60 yards like he used to be, and that's partially on the fact that the receivers have just not been on the same page as him.
Yeah, that's a lot to do with the offense right now in the league. They're playing 2 deep safeties, which means there's 2 guys deep back, so I don't know how much you watch the teams other than the Jets, but passing yards and deep balls are way down across the entire league this year. So that's not one, can't put that 100% on Rodgers, but he's definitely not been good enough. Definitely not been even close to what he's been in the past. Yeah,
no, for sure. And it's like, obviously that's been happening across the league, as you said, but it's like, it comes down to, it just feels like the man's 40. Don't make him throw the ball 54 times. And he's coming off a season-ending injury.
So
Yeah,
it's
and
not even just that he's 40.
It's also, you have Brees, you have Braylon Allen. You could use Corley in the backfield. You can use Garrett Wilson in the backfield. You have a ton of weapons for running the ball and using short plays. Like, they have a Swiss Army knife there over those 4 guys. Like, it would make the most sense to use it. So, guys, well, Matt, do you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, I was going to say, this last game against the Vikings, there was a play where Garrett Wilson lined up in the backfield and ran an angle route. And I thought that was great because when he lines up as a linebacker, he's going to get, if the defense is in man coverage, he's going to get matched up against a linebacker. And that's going to be a mismatch for Garrett every single time. So lining him up in the backfield, I loved it, not only because the play worked and because it was a good idea, I loved it because it was creative. And we've said it, I think, 17 times on this video specifically, the offense isn't creative enough. And we gotta, I would say something's got to change, but something finally has changed. And people are asking, is it going to get better or it's going to get worse? And my answer is, I don't care if it gets worse because it's not even close to good enough right now. So what does it matter if it's any worse?
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, guys, if you think that he should switch his name to Aaron Rodgers, subscribe. But if you don't think he should switch his name to Aaron Rodgers, subscribe. Guys, make sure to check us out on Nick's Digest tomorrow. We're going live at 6 p.m. for Nick's Digest Happy Hour. We're going to bring that over to Jets Digest soon. Also, guys, like, subscribe, post notifications. Y'all know the drill. Have a great day, and go Jets.